know, for a minute it seemed like the roofers were going to be quiet. Can you hear that? I was wrong. Not only are they not going to be quiet, they're going to be louder than ever before. Man, they timed that like perfectly with my stream beginning. Oh, maybe they're vacuuming. Maybe that means they're done for today. They just vacuum very aggressively. They like smash the vacuum through the wall. My hair is wet. Headphones are gonna mess it up. Okay, well, we'll enjoy the sounds of the vacuum. Hopefully that will go away soon. Hi. Hello there. I'm Scott. Let's see here. We've been working on this Twitch extension for basically 1,000 years. Oh no, I didn't update the stream title thing. I think that's okay. Twitch is just weird about that. I knew I forgot something. I just felt like, oh, it's quiet. I need to start streaming immediately. Does this mean the VOD is going to have the wrong name? Do you hear the vacuuming? It's like they're trying to kill somebody with the vacuum. I need Draclin to come tell me if the audio level is okay. Hold, please. I know this is not an exciting way to start the stream, but hey, you know, we gotta do whatever. Important housekeeping things, maybe? Okay, anyway, what are we doing? Okay, I changed that thing. I can't believe I forgot that. That's the part I never forget. I did close the bathroom door and all that stuff, so at least we're okay in that regard. It sounded like a jet flying over my head. Draclin, okay, first of all, can you hear the vacuum? Because the roofers are now vacuuming so aggressively. They sound like they're in a demolition derby of vacuums. They're just smashing the vacuum into the wall. Never heard anything. I know you don't believe there are roofers. I know you're convinced that the roofers are a sick figment of my imagination. Okay, the vacuum has moved away. I'm starting to fear for my life with this vacuum. It's like Maximum Overdrive or Christine. We get murdered by the vehicles. Okay, how's the music level now? I turned it down. I don't know what it is. That sounds like a tractor. It's an intense vacuum. My grandma has a vacuum that looks like it's a tank. Built like a tank. Okay, what are we even doing? I updated that thing. Great. We're gonna Earthscape today. I think I know how I want to do this. I think it won't be too hard. I think it'll be okay. In fact, I had a way I was going to do it initially that I think was not the right answer. I think we're going to do it in another way. Let's open some stuff. Music seems okay. Okay, thank you. Heat Unity. We'll just stick with that same project. So here's the idea: is painting straight to a texture in Unity is possible, and I've done it before, but it's a little annoying. Like you just do you have like some image you want to use, and you keep it as a texture, and you maybe blit that to another texture, draw it to a render texture behind the scenes, and all this stuff. But I don't think we need to do that. I think we can do this in a pretty simple way. So let's switch over here. Does this still work? Okay. So first, let's just get going on. I think we can do this kind of quickly. This was what? This is Boom. Wait, okay, I'm sorry. I was starting the stream. What did I miss? What was going on in there? I don't know about those. Something seems slightly a little phallic about those. Are there any eggplant-shaped gummies? Draclin, I'm not going to let you turn this into a inappropriate stream. G-rated stream. You already made me... I already blew it. I'm compromising my G-rated stream. Okay, so the idea here is this. Don't touch that. What we're going to do is have a sphere. And we're going to make assumptions about the UVs of that sphere, that they're okay. Look at that beautiful sphere. We may make our own sphere. I know you're distracting me already. No, we're going to really do it this time. I've got this. It's all in my brain. This should be really easy, I think. So the idea here, we're going to write a custom shader, but before we write the custom shader, let's just get set up. Because I think this is going to be easier than if the way I'm thinking of works, it's going to be great. Okay. I don't know why I want to camel cap that. Sure. Okay, so the idea is this, that we will have another camera that is the... This will be the render texture camera. This is one thing I don't like about Unity is like, you can have the multiple cameras and it's great. There's just something weird about it spatially, like it has to exist in your scene. I would kind of prefer it if you could have a camera that did not need to live in the scene. But that's just kind of conceptually a weird thing for me, is to say like, okay, this is the part where we're rendering the Earth, and then somewhere else, spatially, is where we're gonna draw the texture. I don't know. Maybe we could do it all programmatically. I don't think you can. I don't think there's not really a concept in Unity. Like once something exists, it kind of exists in the scene graph, sort of. Okay, so here's the whole deal: is we want a layer called landscape or something like that, Earthscape, and we want this camera to only look at things on the Earthscape layer. And we want, no, that's not true. We want this camera, we want the main camera to look at everything except that. Everything not Earthscape. And we want this camera, so really we could have these in the same place, that would just be confusing spatially. And then we want this camera to only look at things that are Earthscapey, and we also want it to exist on the Earthscape layer. Okay, so the idea is this. So for example, let's just throw a cube in here and set it to be on the Earthscape layer. So that cube will only appear to this camera. If I wasn't drawing this, it would not appear. And then we want to tell this camera to not draw, we want it to draw to only that render texture. We don't want it to draw anywhere else. And we can probably cut some of this stuff because I think we'll manage some of those things on our own. One thing I don't quite know is how we're going to handle this seam. We probably want this camera to be orthographic. Okay, so now we're going to have this render texture over here. That should... Nope, don't do that, please. Thank you. Is that not working? Okay, this is now what's getting drawn to this texture. And so now if we take our sphere, which is what the other camera is rendering, and we throw that Earthscape texture Earth, and we'll just throw this in albedo for now. Actually, let's make this unlit and throw this Oh, unlet texture, please. Now we've got this. And we throw that on our sphere. Cool. We get rendered whatever was on that camera. So that's probably a little weird to look at, but. So using this, instead of trying to manually paint to a texture, which is going to be kind of annoying, we will just draw our spritey blobs over here. We'll do a solid color, and we'll do black. And then we'll just draw whatever appears there. So if we got that fuzzy sprite that we had, let's go steal a sprite. Who will be the victim of this sprite theft? Guess we could just make it ourselves. Let's just make it ourselves. I feel like I every time go look for a sprite when it would take 25 seconds to just do it. Okay, longer than 25 seconds because Illustrator's taking its sweet time. Okay, so let's make a new fellow. That's fine. Oh, he's so slow. Why is everything so slow? Our computer's so slow. Okay, so we want a background. And an ellipse. And that ellipse will be where's the gradient editor? Here, you? Radial gradient. Why don't you listen to me? Oh, because I'm on the stroke. Okay, beautiful. Really, we could go probably full 256 with this. You just don't want to go so far that there's any danger of the edges getting cropped. Maybe we'll give ourselves a little. Oops. Oh. A little breathing room. Okay, so this will be our brush. Did I save that with alpha? Because I didn't mean to. I don't need any transparency. We will draw these additively. Okie dokie. So then the idea is to make you a sprite. Now we have a sprite. That sprite will go in here. Instead of the cube, and it will exist on Earthscape layer. Okay, now we can draw a sprite there. Sure is distorted. It'd be nice to have better UVs. Probably gonna have to make the sphere have better UVs. Okay, this can be way littler. Okay. Let's ignore this. That's going to be the biggest challenge, is dealing with stupid UV stuff. But let's not worry about it for this very moment. Because there's ways we could probably get around it. I mean, really, one way to get around it would just be to do this. Okay. Texture resolution wise, let's make this at least 1K. Let's make it 2K. With a fast computer. Computers are fast. We really only need one channel, but drawing to only one channel will be annoying, so just the red channel, a little red blob. These are things you might want to do for efficiency. It's not really going to be a problem here. I mean, we're probably fine just going with alpha. Okay, so the general idea is this. One, we will probably want this to be, we don't really need a depth buffer. We would really want this to be as high resolution as we can. So it would actually be better, probably to have some floating point. Red as a float. Wonder what the, like, what kind of float we're talking here. I mean, actually, that's kind of a fundamental flaw. So I want a lot of resolution in this because I want to use that grayscale. I want to try to use that grayscale to cut off different layers of landscape. Like, we'll say black to just a little bit gray is water, and just a little bit gray to a little bit less gray is something else, you know. So we'll get slices to get sort of what our strata are, and we probably won't actually displace. We'll probably just do it all as a texture because that's probably adequate. Okay, so one thing we need to do, so once we've done this, the thing to figure out really, if that's dead center, that's pretty weird. You'd think it would be like this. Okay, so yeah, if our render camera is looking directly at a thing, it should be dead center where we're drawing. So now what we want to do is wherever we click, we want to spawn a texture in the proper place according to the UV coordinates of where the click is. So we will have to how do we want to do this? So this will be sort of our like draw click function, sort of. I don't know. It's a weird name for this class. Maybe we'll make it not named that soon. Oh no, I accidentally showed Dracklin's weird candies on stream. Inappropriate. Let's see. So the idea is this, that whenever there's a click, we want to raycast and figure out where we are on that sphere. Yeah. So, and eventually we'll make this work with clicks from heat. Excuse me? Why did I just suddenly lose focus? I don't know about you, Visual Studio. So we want to do it on the mouse button down. What is the... Something stealing my mouse focus? Why can't I type? Sometimes I watch Jonathan Blow's streams and he complains so much about Visual Studio, and I sometimes think like, oh man, maybe you're being like a little intense on it. But then it does get in your way. Like, just hangs sometimes, or sometimes you weirdly lose focus. Like, why did that happen? I don't know. Okay, we got clicks. Now we want to do a raycast. So first we need to remember how to do that. Like, we need like Unity raycast screen click. Yeah, this thing. Screen point to ray. And then get the hit, and we should get texture coordinates with that. So that's going to be the main camera. Should make sure this camera is not main. No. Camera main just refers to whatever's marked, tagged with this tag, main camera. What are you mad about? Oh, that's a Unity error. Cool. Okay, so now let's get in here. This should be, let's see how we're doing. Oh no, Draclin, printers do not belong in the home. You know how sometimes people are like, you know, you shouldn't own a monkey, right? Like a monkey, you just can't, they're dangerous. Like a monkey could just flip out, rip your face off. I feel the same way about printers. No one should have a printer in their home. You can like go to FedEx Kinko's or something. Whenever I need to print, I go to the coffee shop that lets me email to the printer. I don't approve of printers in the home. They're dangerous, they're frustrating. Okay, cool. So when we click this here, we get that. So what we really want from this hit, and this is the thing that's cool that Unity can do, because not everything can do this. 3JS used to not be able to do this. Maybe it can do it now, but you can get a texture coordinate from where you just clicked. So I think that's hit dot text chord. True or false? So right in the middle should be 0.5, I think. No, this is not right. What did I do wrong? How does this work? It's something like that. Raycast hit text coordinate. Hits.text chord. What have I done wrong? Okay. I'm looking at an example in the Unity documentation. Yeah, this is them drawing and doing a set pixel, but I don't want to do that. Hit.text chord. Why would that not be right? Did the words I just said make sense? I don't know. That's not something like about the position relative to the camera, is it? Like, no, it's just broken. I just broke it. I just did a bad job. Documents. What's your deal? That almost looked like, I don't know, those candies, Draclin. Good grief. Okay, so what did I forget? These candies. The candies are a real thing, or don't allow printers in your home? Do you think they know? They have to know. Probably makes them sell better. Yeah. Okay, what did we do wrong here? We got the input mouse position. This is so weird. Instead of nesting things, they just return all the time. I guess that's fine, so you don't end up with like too much hierarchy, but maybe that's fine. Just interesting stylistic choice. Sometimes if you've got a function like that that's super huge though, and you look at it and you don't have the hierarchy to sort of give you a sense of scope, it's easy to miss like, oh, somewhere randomly in the middle of this, I actually left this function. Like, I don't know. I do that to a certain extent, I guess. But okay, so what did I do here? Raycast. We don't need render or mesh collider or any of that stuff yet. Like, there's nothing special about the hit. What am I doing wrong here? Is that what you do whenever you go to Houston? Grab some smutty candy? Out into the hit. Just looked at it. Okay, that's fair. You're just like a candy tourist. Is anything here working? It's not doing something like raycasting from the wrong camera or something, is it? Is it something weird about it being a unity sphere? Let's just make our own sphere maybe, just to try. Why would that be true? I guess we could search for that. Raycast always returns 0. Yes, why is that? Ah. Has to have a mesh collider, not a sphere collider. That's my problem. So we need a mesh collider, and then we just feed a sphere into the mesh collider. How's that? Good grief. I think I knew that at one point. Okay, cool. So dead center should be 0.5.5. We only get texture coordinates. Not getting a lot of resolution on that. Is it going to rotate? It will probably rotate very slowly because of the lag in the stream. It could, like, you might not see your clicks. So that's going to be a weird one on this. I want it to rotate for sure. I would normally, stylistically, probably want it to rotate very quickly. Okay, so this is a thing. So we will, so if, now we just need to spawn a sprite at that point. Okay, cool. So this will be, That's what I was trying to do with the lag compensation. That's why, well, I mean, for it to, is it gonna like predict the future? That's why I wanted to use that latency setting, so I could try to do stuff like that, like try to make allowances for latency, but it didn't want to work very well. Maybe I can send my own timestamps, I guess. The problem with the timestamp is like, you can't really expect a bunch of random computers to have the same clock going. Like there's no relationship between the clock on the backend service and the clock like in the browser or on the front end separate service. Those are all kind of like running potentially on three different sources of truth. Okay, so we have this thing, and then once we have this thing, we can have something that's like, oh, no. I don't know. Now it's like, so that's not right. Serialized field. Somebody, last Jonathan Blow stream I was watching, somebody asked him why he kept switching back and forth. It was Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code, but between Visual Studio and Emacs, and he was just like, Visual Studio just always is in his way, and I can kind of feel that's true. Like there's so many times that it tries to help me, it doesn't help me. I used to be a Vim person myself, not Emacs, but still. Okay, so the whole deal is when somebody clicks, we will spawn one of these jerks. I think we can get away from with this. I think if that's a orthographic camera with scale of 1, we can actually just use that. We can't use that. No, not true. Whoa, 10. Oops. I understand those comments. I don't love that part about it either, really. Or the tone often I find very frustrating, but I feel like I learned things by watching him work that are valuable. What am I going to do when I actually have people in my chat? Maybe what I'll do, like, I'll just have a special Draclin only room. Oh, I can make a subscriber room right now just for you. I guess, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, there's something about the way... There's I can relate to him in a lot of ways in being like, he is a creative person, whether he calls himself this or not. Like, I would think of him as an artist because of the games that he creates, but he creates them from a tech-driven side that I think is often kind of hard to reconcile in the world of art. And I often find myself in a similar, like, I don't know, difficulty explaining my position in sort of the same way, where it's like, okay, I want to use technology and I want to be a technically capable person, but not only because I want to do this thing. I also think, yeah, I think actually that's one of the things is I don't know that I'll ever use Jai, and I don't know that I would ever personally like Jai. I'm sure from Jonathan Blow's perspective, I'm a horrible programmer, but I'm glad he's doing that. Like I think that's how things advance. Like somebody just has to be unreasonable. I mean, it's truly, it's that, what's that quote? That unreasonable man quote that I love and always forget. George Bernard Shaw. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. And sometimes I think those people, I wouldn't say man, that seem unreasonable, even if you can't quite align yourself with their way of thinking, I think it's really valuable that they're pushing. So I think it's amazing that he's like, you know what, these tools aren't good. I'm just going to build my own tools. Like that's an unreasonable thing to do, sort of. But it's how new things happen. So I really like that, and I really respect that. Sometimes, yes, his tone is a little difficult for me, but I try to see past that. I'm sure my tone is difficult for people. I'm sure there's people who can't stand me. Okay, so we're gonna instantiate there. I kind of think that'll work if this camera's size is 1. Okay, first you have to do the thing. Okay, we're making particles all over the place, but they seem to be on the wrong layer. They're on the correct layer. Well, that's weird, huh? Because I could see them drawn over there. Like, and the other camera over here, when I click on this. Oh! Well, they need to, yeah, right. Okay, they need to be inside this. Not this, inside transform. They're drawing invisibly in front of the wrong camera. They're still drawing invisibly in front of the wrong camera. Because, why? There's a way that you have to tell it to... Maybe this is really what we want to do. Like instantiate it first. I feel like there's actually an overload for this. Maybe not. I think if you just do instantiate into transform... Where are the other versions of this? Doesn't it show that? I thought it would show the total number of that. Instantiate in world space. But you can't do instantiate in world space. World position stays. Okay, so I think we need to do transform and false, and then after it's inside, do particle instance. Can't type today. Position. Why are you mad? Oh. For a very valid reason. Also, I can't type. Good grief. Okay. Ready. I'm ready. True? What is my problem? Is that not where I want it? That camera is offset, and I want to... Oh, is there already a transform on these? 10. That shouldn't matter. The scale shouldn't matter. I'm instantiating these into this fellow. And when I do that, they are off by 20. And I thought that the solution to that was to set this to false. Let's just try this for a moment. Great. Okay, that's good. Now, do local position. Is that my problem? That's probably my problem. Okay, great. Now we're drawing out there in front of the camera. But this guy... Oof. Bad news. Not great. Okay, we gotta make all that additive, but that's easy. So, 180? It's like we're drawing on the back of it. Why is that way up there? Is there some other... We need to subtract 0.5. The reason being that these coordinates are normalized 0 to 1, but we're in world space inside that. So that should work. Although I'm still not quite sure why we were drawing on the back of it. Okay, now I can draw a little over this thing. So we want to make a... Oh. Have I misspelled everything today? That's impressive. Spell everything wrong. Material. No, I want to, for sure. The VR thing I want to do, I don't think it'll be too hard. So my general thought is that we would have my camera, my VR cameras, one for each eyeball, and then we'd have a third-party camera that was above third-person camera that was above looking straight down at me, and that is the camera you'd be able to click on. And I would be in world space looking around, and then chat could just click on stuff and spawn things and try to kill me. I don't know. The only thing is when I've tried, I don't know why the performance is so bad. There's something kind of dumb about Unity in the editor, actually, where if you're not, I don't understand this. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it won't do it at runtime. In my testing, even with the lightweight render pipeline, you can't, if you're not drawing to the screen in Unity, it won't draw to the headset, which makes no sense to me. Like, why should that be true? Why can't I draw to the headset and draw something different to the screen? So I would have to figure out that one problem. But I think if I figured that out, then yeah, we could do something really weird. Or you could feed me rockets. You could shoot rockets into my mouth. Is that what we should do with the sun thing, Draklin? Go back to the sun and let you shoot rockets into his mouth? I meant no innuendo there. That's just rockets. Good old-fashioned fun rockets. I'm still not fully sure I like this new workflow. So how do I... If I do a surface particle, rendering mode additive, these are pretty weird. I don't think I need anything that complicated. I think I can just do mobile particles additive. Okay, so now we will have the additive. No, no. Nope. Okay, those am I having like some dexterity problems today? Oh well. Okay, maybe that'll work. We'll make our own shader at some point, but for now, okay, we can paint all over this thing. It's probably gonna look bad towards the top. In fact, it's really hard to get up there. I don't really want to do that. I guess I do. I kind of don't. Let's make a planet script for it. Go ahead and raise both arms above my head and smile. Is that do you want me to do that now, or are you setting me up for the VR experience? Let's see. Okay, so I can draw. Let's add just a little rotation, just like in the spinner, to see if I'm having a stroke. I maybe have a concussion. Ooh, that's not good. You're supposed to be able to touch your fingertips. I'm missing my fingertips. What's wrong with me? I think I'm having like, yeah, some nerve problems in my neck. This chair's messing me. I don't know what's I'm having body problems for sure. I had a grievous injury at the end of 2017. Finally was pretty well recovered from it by the end of 2018. And then now it is bothering me again. And I think it is this chair. I know I missed twice. My neck is, I think I'm messing my neck up with this monitor setup. I'm not doing great. I don't know. Something's wrong with me. Maybe it's neck nerve stuff. But my hip, I have this chair, Jacqueline. I gotta buy a new expensive chair. Okay, so how do you work? Just steal this for now. Yeah, no, can't believe I missed that. Something's wrong. I think that maybe it's the roofers slowly eating away at my brain. Maybe what I'm thinking is the roofers is actually some sort of horrible mental trauma happening. Okay, so this is not great. I think we never actually get... It's almost like even as it rotates... The scale must be divided. Okay, maybe we need to do this. I don't like the name of this class. We probably need to do like ×2 - 1 or -0.5 × 2. What's wrong with this? Oh. Of course. Okay, this is a big problem, is that anything anything that we would predict to cross the seam, we need to draw on both sides. Not a huge problem, it's just kind of annoying. We would kind of want to like set. No, I think that's the only way is to draw both sides. I don't want to deal with that right now. That seems not very exciting. Okay, so let's make it littler. Draclin, did you win your battle with the printer? My concern here is that we're not really going to have enough variation. I guess we could excuse me. Do this. Yeah, just do. Pardon me. Could also makes this bigger. That's interesting that it kept the prefab change. So get a little closer, giant camera. 1 meter away from our planet. That is 1 meter. We want more resolution on our sphere, I think. So the really easy way to do this is to write a like a gradient mapped shader. And you would give it a gradient map and then it would sample from it. Resolution's not great. That's at 2K for the Earth. I'm going to 4K for the Earth. I'll make this bigger again. Just so compressy. Maybe we make it high quality. That's a little better. And then really we only need one channel. Just red. That's all we're using. It's one channel. That's a little better. And then let's go ahead and make this 4K. We care about anything else in here. Clamp, bilinear, no net, no maps. Looks pretty good, I think. Maybe. Gonna be kind of distorted at the poles. Excuse me. This planet will not have ice caps because that would be kind of annoying to make. Not too terrible, I guess. So what we want to do here, what's the right way to do it? Maybe we do the gradient map thing first just because it's easy. But what would be cooler is some set of 4 or 5 layers that we took slices of. So say it's like water, sand, foliage, trees, mountains, and then ice at the top of the mountain, something like that. And then we'd set individual ranges for them. But then, like, what would be the nicest way to do this, I feel like, is if for each of those things, we could be a pretty heavy shader. Guess you'd kind of just have a bunch of conditionals, except you'd have to blend between them, so you'd kind of need to sample everything. So what would you actually want? You'd want some specularity. You could really probably put it all in one texture. Very tricky. I think let's start with the easy version first. So the easy version looks like this. The easy version is we just make another 256 texture, and we make a square. And then we make a gradient. Where is the gradient editor? This thing. And we would do something like this. We would say, why do you think you're only black and white? Yeah, we'd say like, okay, first you're watery blue. Then we get really granular on this too. We could have like, oh, some little ocean shore thing, like white foam at the beach. And then the beach starts. I need HSV. Then you have the beach for a little while, and then you have like the edge of the beach, and then you have the beginning of the trees, or this will maybe be like greenish foliage first. And then you have some of that for a while, and then you start to have the forest for a while, and then up here you start to have foothills. And a little more, you'd have like gray mountains. Maybe you don't have the foothills. Maybe you go straight into the mountains. The mountains get kind of darker. And then at the very top, you have snowy peaks. Okay, that's not the best thing I've ever seen, but something like this. And then we will remap those colors linearly based on the R value we'll sample from this thing. And I don't think I did a very good job, so I don't think it's gonna look great, but I don't really think this is how I want to do this. I think I want to have like more carefully controlled individual textures, individual materials even. Like that's what would be cool, is a way to just drop in multiple materials and then have a mask. I can't quite think of a way to do that super efficiently. Have multiple spheres. I don't know. Anyway, let's try this first. So we'll have a gradient. So we just need a I could do all this in the lightweight render pipeline, but I'm still not super great at shaders there. Oh, if we did that, we could maybe use the shader graph. Should we try to do this with the shader graph? I kind of want to. Let's do this first. Let's do a simple version first. Let's make a simple one of these guys. Let's set our Earth to take that. So we need two things. We need like our main texture. Really, it's gonna be like our gradient texture and our mask texture. Should it be the other way around? The mask is what's gonna be from the render texture. And then we need this. And they'll have the same UVs. So the only trick is, I'm gonna get rid of fog. It's not hurting anything, but I don't want it. Maybe I will want it. So the thing is, we just need to sample both textures. Gradient texture. So the idea will be, all we really want is the R from this. And we will do something like color equals, let me think about this. Do we want to use that to sample from the second texture? Like if we have the mask, we don't really want the UVs. We want like, that's not right for this. Float 2. X would be mask call.r. Then this doesn't matter. Is that right? So that's our water. Hey, look at that. It doesn't look like land. Oh, what did we like go beyond? We can have little lakes. I didn't mean to have lakes. It's supposed to just be white at the top. I blew it. Thank you. I definitely didn't do it right. I don't know why it would ever go beyond. It's like it's accumulating beyond 1. Why would that ever be true? 0 to 1 from the main texture. What? Do I have HDR on or something? Like, am I high dynamic ranging beyond 1? This camera, I think, has HDR on. Maybe I was. Maybe I was additiving beyond one. Nope, that was not the problem. Oh no, Tracklin, you're gonna ruin my world? We gotta fix that. That's gonna be boring. That's definitely under the boring category. Why am I getting big ol' holes? Those are just red spots. That should just be like 100% red. It shouldn't be anything beyond red. But when I sample, it's almost sampling like it's repeating. Maybe that's it. It's like a filtering thing. So if we clamp this, it'll probably be fine. Okay, yes. I just have a very snowy peaks. I don't know how many particles I can have before it gets very upset. I want the particles to have a lifetime, so they'll like exist solid for a short amount of time and then decide to fade. And then after they fade, they will destroy themselves. My world seam? I know. On the first day... I'm sorry, what? How does this work so far? What do the layers consist of? It's really easy. So it's just this gradient map, like this ramp here, where I just tried to go in and say like, oh, I want really low things to be blue. And then this is just sort of an altitude map of color, kind of like a heat map. Like if I just put in a gradient in here that was, can I duplicate? Nope. Is there no duplicate in? Why? Why? Adobe, why? Why? I sound like Jonathan Blow now talking about Visual Studio. In Photoshop, which is now what? Like almost 30 years old? You can duplicate. You just go duplicate and it will just duplicate the image that you're working on. Illustrator, made by the same company that does so many of the exact same things that has been around for decades, does not have that same feature. Like it's kind of insane to me that stuff like that exists in one and not the other. Anyway, so if we wanted to make a heat map kind of thing, we could say, we could do the same thing. What do heat maps usually look like? Heat maps are usually, where's the gradient machine? Yeah, this thing. So heat maps are usually red at top at green at bottom, right? Like true green at the bottom. And then they're probably like yellow here and orange here. Something like this. Looks like a heat map. So if we do this and say heat and then drop that into here. That's weird. Why would it ever be less than green? Why would that ever be true? Nano transparency. Oh, same problem. I gotta go and mark this one as clamp. Yeah, so now it's a heat map. What did Mr. Rogers do? Mr. Rogers... Maybe this is more of a Bob Ross thing when you're creating something. So Mr. Rogers he didn't often make things. He had a good attitude about it. I think when there's that one where he's like drawing with a crown, he's like, I'm not very good at it, but that's okay. Like that's all right. I guess I just need to forgive Adobe. I don't know. So anyway, all this does is I'm only writing to one channel. I'll talk about how to fix the seam. It's silly. It's not that hard. Shouldn't be that hard, I hope. Yeah, so I'm drawing every time I click. Really, I'm just throwing particles in space. So if we look over here, somewhere there's a million particles. Where are they? Yeah, we're just like have all these particles floating in space. Yeah, something like that. We have all these. I'm only using the red channel because that's all I really need. And then here, in the shader, all I do is say, first tell me what's in the red channel, which will just be a value between 0 and 1. Either it's black or it's all the way red. And then when I sample this other texture, instead of using the real UVs, I just sample it at a coordinate that is linearly along that line. So the Y of this doesn't matter. I'm just sampling along X here and pulling the color out. Lots of stuff works that way. It's a very easy way to do it. Yeah, the way to fix the seam is to also spawn a particle at -1 unit from wherever you are. Is that true? Yeah. I mean, really like -1 and +1. And you'd really want to do it selectively. So like the very fast, naive way to do it is probably can I just arbitrarily scope things? Is this the thing you can do in C#? Can I just do that and then just declare everything again? I've done that before with like using, but I guess I've never done it without anything. Doesn't mean anything. But it means that I'm no longer in trouble for redeclaring this, right? I just never do it. Cool. Okay, so to fix the seam, really these will be if statements eventually, but we would just, anytime, hello life is yours, anytime we spawn a particle, we want to do one that's +1 and one that's -1. It might need to be 2 and not 1, but let's see. So now this is not right. Should be +2, I guess. Is that right? We'll know in a minute. Scope, scope, scope. We're never gonna get this to seam. Okay, I think we successfully passed the seam. So that's how you, I mean, it's probably not perfect, but it should be close enough that it doesn't really matter. This is a huge waste of particles. But I think it's okay. I should draw very efficiently, actually. Oh, I don't turn on instancing. Does this take into account the other camera? I am. Save by batching. So those are all getting batched. So it's actually not that big of a deal. So maybe I don't even care. For just a little demo. npm install and it freezes at finalize. Sometimes, you know, like sometimes when you npm install, it really depends on the package, because sometimes npm packages are actually like downloading code and compiling it. Like it can be pretty intense. So it would kind of depend on the package. I know, Draklin. I wanted to be nonsensical for a moment. That's all. Really, I think I would do it in a like do all 3 positions and then just do this in a loop or something like that. Well, do you know what package is breaking during the install? Maybe I think there's a verbose. Is that true? Oops. Is verbose real? Did I make that up? npm config. Okay, yeah. You tried npm install. Oh, good heavens. -- verbose, and it hung without giving you anything useful. How did I just lose everything? Come back. Why did you do that, Windows? Why did Windows decide like, you need to look at any of this stuff? Well, shoot. What package are you trying to install? What's the main package you're trying to install? All of the packages. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, you could try a few one at a time, I guess. I would maybe imagine Electron is compiling weird things. Do you have, yeah, do it. Draklin says. Also, make sure you have the latest version of NPM, all that stuff. Okay, so we have this thing. We can now apply different gradients to it if we want. This doesn't look like nighttime. Ooh, let's do this. Oh, this is the best program. In upgrade, is that the same as this update? Actually, upgrade doesn't just upgrade the actual project, because this is saying for updating npm you want to do like one of those, but that might be out of date. I can't really remember. Maybe upgrade is a new thing. An environment error, permission denied. You could try in Windows. Was your command? Did you run as administrator on your command prompt? What's this cool thing? I don't know. I feel like I've only had that happen. Computers are bad. Computers were a bad idea. Your logs, like, it just says finalize and then you're dead. Like, there's no useful error about what it's doing. You could, yeah, did you try cleaning your cache? You could also try going through the package.json and try to install things one at a time. I don't know, man. Do you have the Windows subsystem for Linux installed? Are you like running Windows Bash or Git Bash or like the Windows Linux Bash? You are doing the subsystem. I just don't have much experience with that. That is a thing I'm just not. Yeah, okay. I have a long and storied history with Windows, but I've been using it again for the last, like, since Windows 10, and it's been mostly okay. But for stuff like that, like creative code, command line kind of stuff, I just don't like it very much. Much prefer macOS for that. But I am kind of interested in doing Windows subsystem, Linux, whatever. Okay, I want to do this thing. This, what is it called? This thing. This is such a good program. I love it. I want it. Give it to me. How do I do it? Yeah. Cool. I don't know why I run it every time, because I do basically the exact same thing every time, but hey. 3 years ago. Where's the... I don't trust anything that says download here. Okay, this one seems to be legitimate. Is this what I want? This seems suspicious. Remember when SourceForge was like a real thing? Like, remember when SourceForge is where you went to get stuff? Like before everybody used GitHub? I wonder if I still have anything on SourceForge. Okay, so that's when you would, like, you wanted to know the news, you'd go to Slashdot. Does Slashdot still exist? Is that still a thing? Am I going to be bummed out if I look at it? Why does Slashdot still exist? Didn't Reddit take over that need? Well, SourceForge still exists. I mean, Slashdot still exists. Is it like techno libertarian kind of? I thought that's what. Wait, isn't that what Reddit's for? Weird. Okay, so downloads. What did we get? Where did you go? Star thing. Didn't I just download that? Wouldn't you think it would be the top thing by date? Did that not actually download? There it is. Wait, where was I looking? What? Why? What? Oh, because it... Wait. Excuse me? Is there something different about these two download folders? Oh, it was just backwards. Oh, I forgot that Windows does that. Windows, when it orders by date, keeps files and directories split. That's all. That's all. Yeah, I don't know. I dive into Reddit here and there. It's not something I visit intensely. Off and on during the years, there's been certain subreddits that I was interested in. Now I usually just dive in to look at, like, build a PC sales and console deals and places like that. I was very entertained by Buttcoin, our Buttcoin, for a while. Okay, so what do we want to do? We just use the presets, I think. This purple one? I think this is one I like. Cool. Look at that. Beautiful outer space just instantly. Again, I do this every time. I just use this one preset. I don't know why I feel the need to generate it every time. It's just cool. Okay, so we want to export. This is one thing that's not great, is that I wish it would let you do equirectangular, or I don't really like having to assemble like this. I don't think that, does Unity understand DDS? Is that a layout of cube maps? I don't know if that works. Guess we can try it. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. That is the thing I generally don't like about Windows. Like inconsistent, like Explorer presentations from one application to another, I find pretty frustrating. Can I please do this? Can I please paste in a path and not have to navigate to it? Oops. Cool. Is this gonna work? DDS, dentist. When you go into settings, which version of settings? That is one of the weirdest things about Windows 10 is like everything is still there. Like there's the settings, but then there's like the Windows 7 settings, but then there's also control panel. Like all of that stuff is still exists. It's just how they do things at Microsoft. They just build things on top, I guess. Does that actually import correctly? I didn't know you could do that as a single. Is that right? Kind of looks right. Cool. So probably need a material for that, right? Does this count as a cube map? Oh, wait. Wait. Okay, never. Wait. Hold on. Not looking great. It's fine here. Can I use this here? I don't think I can. I think I have to have it on a material. So if cube map's not right, then I'm not quite sure what is. Okay, maybe that doesn't work. $2010. Maybe that's old. Maybe I should be using it. DDS importer. That's legacy. No. Well, I'm confused. If I had just done the separate files, we would be done already. This just seems like the wrong shader for this. But, like, Is there an old skybox? Okay, never mind. You need a new computer, just throw it in the trash. Okay, never mind, I got excited about the DVS, but it seems to not work. Or I'm just missing something. Export skybox. Just do a bunch of PNGs, I guess. Okay, that looks more like what we want. And now we have this beautiful outer space scene with our very silly looking... Oh, those all need to probably be clamped. I saw a little seam. Okay, so let's go back to our not very beautiful Earth. With our not very beautiful Earth. These are really textures, these aren't sprites. Okay, so I kind of want the whole solar system to rotate. So what I really want is to do, in principle, the exact same thing. Ooh, that's not great. Is that an isotropy problem? Oh, did you see the seam? The seam is not, we have not fully perfectly solved the seam when it becomes anisotropic. That's right. How do you say that word? Isotropic, straight on, anisotropic. Is that right? Hook us up with what? With clicks? You want to be able to click it? Let me do a couple things real fast. Let's see. We want to add I want to just add some life to this. So on start, we will wish you could just do lambdas in here, but you can't. To invoke lambdas, is that the word I want? Whales and ski boarders and dino. I know all those things. We did a project I did a few years ago. Did I ever show this on stream? We had splashing whales and dolphins and all kinds of things. It was pretty cool. This was for the first Gear VR, like when it was even still the Innovator edition. It was so hard to optimize.
Data can tell us a lot about.
I was the technical director. Yeah, I didn't read the last part of your comment. Weird, I wonder why. So this was all, would run in real time on the very first, like on an S6 or a Note 4 on the first Gear VRs. It was pretty cool. We did it for The Economist. That's not very good. Oh yeah, because it's in... That doesn't seem high res enough though. I want more pixels. More pixels! I'm gonna crash my stream. More pixels! Look at that beautiful Earth. Man, that Earth looks good.
The ocean.
Look at those clouds.
It covers nearly 3/4 of our planet's surface, and it's the world's largest ecosystem, containing 1.3 billion cubic kilometers of water. Marine organisms are useful things. They produce more than half of the oxygen in the atmosphere. But you know this, because you are an intelligent, well-informed viewer. You've watched documentaries that pair such statistics with aerial views
Okay,
of
we
the
don't have to
Earth
watch the
to
rest.
inspire.
That was a pretty good project, even though it nearly killed me. Drachlin, that was a project where it was like the fixed fee was not so great because we had to hire a bunch of people. I worked on that project like, I don't know, 16 or 18 hours a day for a couple months. And by the end, hourly, I probably made like $12 an hour or something. Not the best money-wise, but turned out nicely. I had a gig quite like that in a while. Okay, what do we want to do? We want the particles. Maybe we just do this. Oh, wait, I forgot. We can do this now. We can do, can I do this in 2018.3? Oh, this is going to be great. Async void particle. So all I need to do is do like a, I need like a, and I can do like an await. How can I wait for an amount of seconds? Okay, I'm excited about this because I'm trying to get away from Can I await this, or do I just have to yield it? Like, can you await for seconds? Yeah, you can. Oh no, it's this. So we would say that we want to, can I do this? Oh, does this have to return a task? What's the right way to do that? Or can I just do like async? Can you do this? Is this a thing you can do? Can I just make start async? Time span. Where does that live? Oh man, Moobot. Thanks. It's just system that I think it's just in system, right? Time span from seconds. Yeah, so I can do stuff like this now. And I don't have to do coroutines or anything like that. I can just say wait for a second. And then after the second, how do I want to do this? I gotta think how to structure this. I'm excited of this new world of using all the async and await stuff and not. You wait for a frame? How do you wait for a frame? Oh, if you can't, then maybe I can't do what I want to do. Well, this makes it look like I can await for seconds. So you can do an extension. Interesting. Oh, I'm just looking through this thing. I'm interested in this. But if I can't do stuff every frame, then I guess I just start it, but how do I... As our enumerator. But I want to do stuff per frame though, you know? Maybe this is not good for that. I just need to read more about it. Okay, whatever. We're gonna be chickens. I think you can have an I enumerator start though, can you? Oh, wait for 1 second, and then we'll do something like just so I can do a like tween animation over time without blocking. So it'll just do every frame. It'll just do one tick of the animation. Really, we could like do. Well, this is all just because I refuse to just use some existing tween library. I don't know why. I should. I mean, my projects could be sweet tutorials. Maybe. You just watch the stream, Dracula, and you'll learn everything. So then we want to say... And then every frame will do a yield return null. So this will always only happen once per frame, and it will just happen over that amount of time. And then so they should shrink. They should exist for 1 second, and then they should shrink over the course of a second, and then we'll kill it here. I don't know. Almost no chance I wrote that right on the first try. I maybe could. I've thought about that. If I did that, I would maybe do like Skillshare, maybe. I don't know. I'm not very tutorial oriented, I guess. Like, maybe because my personal learning style is just decide to do something and then learn it. I get really frustrated with YouTube tutorials because if there's just like one piece of information I need to know and then I have to scrub through a whole video, like it's just not my learning style. And so I think it'd be a little hard for me to produce content like that, but maybe. Okay, those fade out way too fast. But in general, this seems to work. Kind of. It doesn't. It doesn't seem to work. What did I do wrong? Let's make this longer and see. Well, that's a silly number. What did I do wrong here? Alexa, I'm not talking to you. Alexa, stop. Alexa's spying on me again. Alexa, no. What if I also didn't have a device whose name I'm not going to say? I just lived in my imagination like the roofers. What did I do wrong here? I have a start time. I have an end time. Well, time is less than the end time. Could be like I don't have a monitors or anything. Like I'm just sitting here talking to a wall. That'd be fine. That would all be okay. That means you two are figments of my imagination. That's what my brain came up with. What's going on in there? Sending me weird rocket pictures. So I definitely did something wrong. Is that in seconds? I thought it was in milliseconds. Oh, it's time in seconds. It's time in seconds. Well, that's part of the problem. I was thinking it was milliseconds. I guess that's because I've been in JavaScript. And also it's backwards. So it's going to grow instead of shrink. Okay, great. So we need the inverse of alpha. So probably, let's say that it lives for 5 seconds and then it fades out over the course of 5 seconds, something like that. And then don't log this. That's not great though, because then you don't really see it. That's sort of bad, because you don't see it fade away. It's just like the Earth comes back and it's naked. Because it takes 10 seconds just to make one revolution. Let's say we live for 10 seconds then. This is what my brain desires. When you click, can you have it grow from nothing to its final size? Have it fade after evolution. Oh yeah, sure. So when we click, it doesn't just appear. It has to grow up. That's a good idea. Man, that seam is still not terrific. Oh, I just had an idea. Maybe that's a bad idea. I wonder if it actually would be better to slide the texture along than... Oh, do we have repeat on our render texture, by the way? It should be clamp. It is clamp, okay. Maybe 10 isn't enough. I do like the idea of growing, so we would do the same thing that was like, we'd probably break this into another coroutine. And give it like a... So we would just move all this in here. Move this. Yeah, okay. So store the original scale first, and then set the scale to none. Then we're going to do something that looks like yield, return, scale. We want to go from 0 to 1, and then we'll wait, and then we'll go from 1 to 0. And these want a duration too, probably. And then all this stuff will go in here. And this will be our duration. And now we need to take the alpha and we want to remap we want to do something that's like alpha times the difference, the difference between start and minus start, and then add that to the start value. And then this would be something like that. I don't know if I did that correctly. Grows very slowly. Looks kind of crazy as it grows. Draw these little islands everywhere. I think I would prefer... Oh, that looks kind of weird. I think I would prefer it to... Man, maybe we should not even put this on a globe. Maybe we should just put this up on the screen. Looks kind of cool. I thought I said that a speed of 10, which should take 1... Which you think would be 10 seconds. Are these actually destroying themselves? That's a lot of particles. Okay, you live longer. I want them to draw up faster and fade down a little slower, maybe. speed it up and click on the edge of the... Well, so I was thinking, Life is Yours, that I would maybe give it a couple modes. Maybe there'd be like the build up mode and the tear down mode. So maybe instead of having them auto fade, users would click to reverse terraform. You're right. I probably should make those public. You think it needs to be 20? You may be right, but added to the slow fade up time, maybe it's okay. You're right. I should make them editable. Man, that looks crazy. What's going on back here? No, I know you were talking about the speed, but we could do that, but I was also talking about the oh, I know, the iciness. The ice caps will be a little weird. Not impossible, but a little annoying. Guess we could just factor Y into the UVs and then just make it snowy up there. That wouldn't be too hard. Doesn't really look like land at all. At all. I mean, particularly the like snowy mountain caps are just not working at all. We should look at some real maps and come up with something. Am I still fading out? Yeah, they're just going away. Man, it takes a long time to turn around. Why is that? Because it's in degrees? 10 seconds to go. I'm going a speed of 10. 0 to 1 happens in 1 second. Oh, so that should be 36 actually, I think. A tenth, not 10 times, a tenth of 360. I really should. Draclin, you're absolutely right. I should just make these. Look at that. Look at that encapsulation. I'm so encapsulated. Nobody else can ever mess with my time. Okay, so... Oh, wait. I can't easily mess with those. Those are the individual particles. I guess I can mess with the prefab. Can I mess with the prefab and have that change when they get instantiated? Either that or it has to like look at the number somewhere else. I kind of forgot we put those times around the particles. We should probably put them on the spawner instead, and then set it when it spawns. Right, 350 for the rotation. Yeah, I think it might actually respect it when it spawns new instances. But yes, well, I already have the whatever it's called, spawning them, so that thing can just set it. Although, will this not work? I mean, for new instances, if I mess with the prefab, will a new instance... I don't know how long that was. Seemingly, no. Not even the prefab cares. Well, anyway, okay. So unserialize these. Or actually, keep keep these, but then also how do we want to do it? I guess I could have made them properties and just set it. Or I could just set them. What do I want to do? Kind of want to make them properties for no reason. Oh well. What are you so mad about, Void? So when we get the incense, then we'll also have to... So back in... this dude can know about all this stuff. And then when we... Oh no, but we did this in a silly way. What do we actually need to know? Yeah, then we've got to do like... I don't need what? I don't need what? Can I make the glow spin super fast? I can, but then it would be that much more disorienting as you clicked. Oops. That's what I'm doing. Right here, right? Particle. And then I'm going to end this here. Yeah. I just didn't want to do it 3 times. That's all. We're on the same page, I think. Oh my gosh, I know. This is very serious. This is serious programming now. I'm gonna keep my needless scopes though. Just challenging my normal style. It's not a thing I would normally do, but I think it's funny. Is that making you crazy, Draclin? Look at that. What am I even doing there? Why? Why would I do that? It's actually starting to bother me a little bit. I'm gonna leave these as separate variables because, like, to really make it better, we shouldn't be drawing them always. We should only draw them when they're in a certain threshold. So I'll leave something there so we can throw a conditional around it. I don't know that I really love this, but okay. What about the part where it still looks bad? I mean, it kind of looks cool. It just doesn't look like a planet at all. I mean, even me clicking locally they get away from me really fast, right? Like, so having a ton of delay on the stream, unless I try to, maybe what you were suggesting, like make us like know about the delay from the stream and like draw it further ahead so that it would hit the point that the click happened. Add some polygons. Why? Just because it's so jaggedy? Or you want me to do polygonal displacement? I could. We could do a vertex shader and displace there. I'm feeling like we're far enough in outer space that we don't really need to displace the geometry, but just do it all in bump maps. The issue is this, is that the way I'm imagining this just seems so inefficient. We'd have to sample so many textures because we'd have like some kind of, essentially I want a single shader that takes sort of 6 totally separate material sets where you could say like, hey, this is what the water shader is like, and this is what the beach shader is like, and this is what the tree shader is like. And have multiple maps for each of those. Layers that pull out from each other. What do you mean pull out? Oh, like different rings on the sphere is one way we could do that. Like, you mean different layers of sphere? But I don't know that we actually need, I think we can get away with bump. And I could just, if I do something clever, yeah, like a jawbreaker, I don't think we need to do that. I think we can blur between these and just give them like sort of different height properties, and it will be relatively convincing just because, you know, we're in outer space. Like, I would imagine when you're in outer space, just looking at the Earth, that the relative height of even tall mountains when they hit the edge of the Earth don't even really register. I would imagine it still looks pretty smooth. Maybe like Mount Everest when it's just going around the horizon makes a little nub, but I would kind of imagine not. So the way that I can see doing this, we want all tileable textures for sure. Or maybe we don't. We could just go into Substance and paint. How would that work? Could we add water? I would kind of want some life to it though. I want like a multi-material thing. Is that a thing? Download the multi-material editor. I don't know what that is. When is this from? 2017? UDIM materials. U dimension, which is on UV ranges. You know what? Here's what I think is, let's make this a, how long have we been going here? 2 hours? Okay, first let's make sure Backblaze isn't. Oh, that's funny. Oh, the tables have turned. Backblaze is doing maintenance now. Backblaze is paused. Okay, so here's what I think I want to do. I think this is what I think. Do I really think this? I think this. I think I want to try. I think I want to try using one of the scriptable render pipelines and using the shader editor and just kind of make my own multi-material setup. It will not be good in terms of texture memory. It will be bad, but it should be relatively inexpensive. It just will be a lot of texture memory. But if it's a texture array, maybe that's fine. I just don't know how efficient that editor. So the idea is just this, is that normally, so, you know, for example, if we were just going to make this a planet and we were just using the normal, the standard shader, say. So when the standard shader, it's like, okay, in our albedo channel is what color is this thing? And metal, how shiny is this thing? Normal map, how bumpy is this thing? And those are the three main channels we would actually care about. Like if we went into substance and we painted out, you know, made some beautiful earth, that's really what we would care about, is those three things. So what I'm proposing is that in one shader, we have fields for like water, albedo, metallic, normal, and sand, albedo, metallic, normal. Like basically cramming all those shaders into one, then sampling all of them. This is where it sounds not good, like not efficient. But maybe it's fine. Like GPUs are pretty fast. That's just a lot of, you know, if we say that it's three materials, I mean three textures, and say we have 5, that's only 15 textures. And really the standard shader itself will take like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that's maybe not that bad. And we could animate them individually probably and do really weird stuff. But the idea is we'll have all of the textures for our whole Earth will exist in a single shader. And then we will use the same masking kind of technique that we're doing, except instead of saying just sampling one line from a gradient, we will sample the proper piece of the fancier materials. So we would maybe go into substance and essentially make 5 planets, like watery planet, sandy planet, grass planet, trees planet, mountains planet, and then just kind of blend between them. I want to do that. I want to do that only because I just don't know how. I mean, in terms of using that, I've been meaning to learn how to use the shader editor with the scriptable render pipelines. Now the question is, do we do low definition or high definition? Probably low is fine. Although the high one could look like beautiful and insane. I guess it's a question of whether or not I intend to put the VR headset on. Which of course I do. If we're gonna make like weird planets, you can like paint weird planets. Of course I'm gonna. So let's just start on that, I guess. First, I feel like I should actually update Unity. Because I've got 3.3. There's a new version of Hub. Cool. And I know 3.3.5 is out. Yeah. A new 2019. Ooh, look at that. 2019 beta 3. How long is this stream? I don't know, Draklin. I should probably work on some stuff, but you know, I also want to terraform. Let's just take a look at it. Let's just look and see. In principle, it's not a hard thing. It's just that I don't know how. Like I don't have experience with that shader editor. I'm okay at writing shaders, but I just don't know. How do I see the secret ones? So I want the shader graph. And I want the lightweight pipeline. Should also probably eat some food. Have you really not heard the roofers during this whole stream? The roofers that live in my head? Everything is going to be okay. That's one of my favorite. Oh man, do you know Don Hertzfeldt? Probably my favorite animator. I don't even know what he's up to, actually. I haven't checked in on him in years. But his films were what's the order of the three? I forget. Such a Beautiful Day is the last one. Man, I should give him money. He's the best animator. Such a Beautiful Day is the last one. But where are the earlier ones? So that's an anthology. Does this not include the other shorts? Kickstarter. Man. So that's not cool though. Like where's the rest of the... I need all of them. What is World? I don't know that I've seen World of Tomorrow. This is quite a website. Okay, but can you just tell me about... Can you just list all of the... Good grief. He's too brilliant to have a normal website. Everything will be okay. I am so proud of you, and Such a Beautiful Day is like one of my favorite. Really, he's got great stuff. Rejected his masterpiece. Like some of the stuff is just astounding, but he worked on The Simpsons. He's too good for that. Oh, he did one of the couch gags. Yeah, everything will be okay. I am so proud of you. It's such a beautiful day. Masterpieces. Yes, My Spoon is Too Big is from Rejected. You know, it's weird. You say that website has not held up. Like, what is this new? Draclin, we just crossed into this, where those old websites that we remember are now called retro. This is a retro Captain Marvel website that just launched last week. So we are old people. This is called retro and it's cool. I mean, even in principle, just the idea, what's it called? NeoCities? Is that still around? I think that's actually pretty cool. There's some NeoCity sites that are pretty amazing. What's going on in NeoCities? Pretty good. Isn't this weird? This kind of hurts my feelings that this is like Vaporwave was approaching this. Like Vaporwave, I could feel a little bit of like, oh man, we're like getting into like where my youth is far in the past, but now we're just there. Highly recommend these films. I don't know how you can watch them. If there's a way to pay Don Hertzfeldt to watch them, I would say please do so. Man, everything will be okay. Oof. Oof. Heart shattering. Am I in Am I in line here? State Theater. Is this Chicago? Where is this? Oh, in Ann Arbor. Nope, I'm not in this line. Yeah, the web was just a bad idea in general, I think. Like, we gave it a shot, but... Okay, lightweight render pipeline. Install. I already hit that. The internet has ruined us all. That's okay. Everything has always ruined us. Telegrams, railroads, newspapers, the printing press. Humans in general were just a bad idea. But everything, Draklin, I'm telling you, everything will be okay. Bonobos? Aren't they, I don't know, aren't they starting to use tools and like train animals? Wasn't there some crazy thing of like bonobos training wolves or something? Maybe it was baboons. Yeah, bonobos, no, it's baboons. Baboons kidnap and raise feral dogs as pets. There's been more and more examples of primates like doing disturbingly, I don't know, human things isn't fair, but like, I think of that with dolphins. I think dolphins are the ones that have figured it out. Dolphins crawled up on land, they looked around, and they were like, F this place, back to the ocean, and all they do all day is play, have fun, and eat their favorite food, and mate, and like, they don't pay taxes or go to work. Like, their whole life is just doing whatever they want to do. Dolphins, the like trip to land, poor choice. Ocean is where it's at. Okay, we have this stuff now. I predict that everything will be a problem. Like, we got to do the thing. This might have been a bad idea all around, because this might break my other projects, but I guess we're committed. So, oh yeah, this might suck. I know, right? Dolphins should have, and maybe they just thought like, the land, who cares? Land is not that big of a deal. Land, you know, everybody talks about how the ocean is, what is it, 3/4 of the planet? But that is only accounting for surface area, not volume. And like when you account the depth of the ocean, there's so much more inhabitable space. Like we barely live off the ground at all on land. Land is just, I don't know whose idea this was. Okay, the thing that's a problem here is this kind of means that this whole project is going to have to use the scriptable render pipeline, because you set that at a project level. So this is going to break our fireworks. But I'm not too worried about that, because that is not a big deal. Okay, this stuff's all different now. I think it is in upgrade project materials. Okay, great. Oh man, I forgot. That sucks. It's hard to writing custom materials with the scriptable, with the lightweight render pipeline was a pain. I'm remembering now. Where's the button? This one? This thing. We need to create an asset. Yeah. Not that one. This thing. Okay. My shader is almost certainly broken. Right? Like that just probably won't work at all. Maybe it will. It does work. I guess it's because it's unlit. It's simple enough. Cool. Well, that's good news. I think the planet, I'm gonna say the planet actually needs to rotate more slowly. I meant to type 2.5 and I typed 25, so we're doing great. Did I make that an integer? Is that my problem? Sure did. That's funny. Good job, Unity, not letting me stick afloat where an ant belongs. Looks like a map from a bad video game. Like an auto-generated map. Okay, we haven't even tested Carl Sagan replat, this pale blue dot. This gradient's bad. I know, this is basically it. Here it is. Planet Earth. Welcome to Earth. My house right here on this snowy peak. Actually, I could have, maybe that's a thing to do. Kind of cheat the look of the sprite to be a little jaggedy. There's that seam. I'm not quite sure why it's not perfect. Should in theory be perfect-ish, right? Oh well, least of my concerns. Okay, so here's the thing. Actually, how about this? Let's get the WebSocket stuff going. Just to verify that it works. And then this thing needs a reference to that. What does that feed? I can't remember. What does this look like? Just a message. Oh yeah, then we just serialize it. Right. What'd that look like? Let's just steal it. Not you, you. You think it should grow in faster when you click? Probably. I think I made it too slow. Well, I can just edit that right now, right? Is that here? Is that at the appear time? That's broken. Okay, what's broken here? So is mouse position? We need to turn the mouse position. That's a weird thing to call this, but. So what do we actually want to send in? I think we want to like send in a vector to And that'll take the mouse position, and this will take this, and then how did we get screen space? Like this? So that when this happens, we will... Where's click defined? Oh, that's bad. Well, this is not. This is not well organized, but that's okay at the moment. So let's make this a vector 2, and this will be hopefully correct. How did I do that? Click X and click Y. I don't know if I'm doing this right. So we're trying to just get screen coordinates and feed it through like it was a real click. I have heat up. Oh, I gotta run that. We have our little bridge server. So where the heck is that thing? That is in server? No, it's in server. Perfect. Run. This is broken already. Great. Okay, wait. Guess. What's your problem? I guess I should have made it run first. Yeah, I need a reference to the WebSocket bridge. Of course I do. Okay, that works. Inval JSON. I'm trying to deserialize. Oh, because something. Who's spitting out something? Was that the wrong server? We don't need that. And this is now wrong. This is now heat ebs.j38.net. So now we have it connected. And when we run this, we'll get a connection. Very explicit messages. We're doing very well. Okay, now I can click. Okay, Draclin. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be offset a little bit. I need to just install something that makes that less dumb. Confident there's a way. Oops. That'll be a little better. Oh no, I think Draclin was killed by his printer. He can't click the screen. The tragic loss. The latency is a pretty weird one. Like, you could try to account for that and then offset slightly based on the rotation speed and try to estimate like what the rotation was at the time. That sounds like kind of a pain in the butt. You'd also have to have like a good estimate for that latency. Which we do not have yet. I think the fade out's too slow, or it exists too long. We also want clouds, right? We need some fancy weather going on. So I kind of think we do this. I think we make some. The water wants to all be procedural, I think. And the land and all those things we can just paint in substance. And maybe we don't actually care if those have specularity or not. Maybe only the water is the only one that we care about being kind of special. Who is that? Ooh. Who's clicking my planet? This poor empty planet. Just got an email about work I should probably be doing instead of this stream. Actually works a little better at the polls than I was expecting. It's hard to write my name on this. The blobs get too big. Okay, so well, nobody clicked. What a sad story. Let's see. Let's start making a. I don't even actually know how to do this. The new shader graph stuff. Shader, a PBR shader graph or an unlit graph. I think we want lit. Now can I? So that's a shader. Life is yours. What's going on over there? Are you doing math? You're doing math for me? To calculate the click offset? I think we could, I mean, it's just getting a reasonable time. We have that latency. Maybe I'll just send that latency all the way through. And we could try to account for it. But I was finding that latency number that we got did not seem to be adequate. So where do you see shader graphs? Earth. So I have done, this is going to be very exciting to watch, everyone, because I just don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I see where your click was, but I would know that. I would only know like time, you know, I need time. I would have to do it based on time, not a spatial offset. Do you have to apply this or something to make it happen? Beautiful. So like what if we did these are artistic. So we want noise, I think. How does this compare to simple noise? I don't know, take noise and turn it into a like a way to change a Well, I feel like we want to put like time in. Maybe we put this in, not here. How do I undo you? And we need to mess with the albedo first. Yeah, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna make it tile? All these things. I don't know about this. Presumably we'd have some way to make like a clock of some sort. Where were you, time? And make a vector. I make a vector too. I don't know how any of this works. What a weird thing to I just think of this stuff as nodes instead of just math. I kind of want to make a... it wants me to combine things, but how can I like... You can make a vector too. Where was that? Where was this? I wish it would tell me where it was after I search for it. Like, I would have thought it would be in math, I guess. I guess I'll just keep guessing things. So... expect. I just want to do like an offset, but maybe I need the sign at the time. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to guess my way through this. This might take some like actually spend some time figuring it out kind of thing. Can I just make up a number here? Like, I don't understand why I can't. Like, why would that only return a single value? Zero and zero. You'd think that would be the default. But perhaps not. Like, if I wanted to animate this. I wonder how much information there are, or how much information exists on the internet. Look at that beautiful water. Beautiful. That's all I want. Worship some kind of demon here. So that's messing with vertex animation, but we don't really need to do that. I don't really feel the need to do that. Masks is the main thing we care about. But we need a way to like grab between UV mask. Which part of the mesh? Okay. Okay, a lerp node acting as a mask. Yeah, I want multiple though, like look at all this madness. Yeah, all this stuff, all this noise. Like, how are they doing this? Gradient noise to tear the flag. Okay, that's for display. That's not for animation. I want to see the water. Oh, that's cool. A swimming fish. Yeah, this is okay. Look at this graph. This is ridiculous. Oh, I don't know. Do I really want to get into this? I feel like I could just write this, like write the thing I want to do without all this complexity. This just feels a little overly complicated to me, personally. One six. Yeah, so probably life insurance, what I would need to do is in that when I send the click to just also send that latency value. So send the X position, the Y position, and the latency, and then experiences could adjust for it. Maybe make that the last value so it's kind of optional. Look at this graph. Seems like a lot of trouble. But they're just using sine waves for that, not noise. Maybe that's the thing to do. And then they just have noise kind of for some texture and some froth. You could get the time, you could go by times. I just don't know about absolute time. I mean, maybe that's accurate enough. It's just, you know, different clocks on different computers can vary widely. You could send like the Unix time maybe, but I would maybe trust, or maybe not. I don't know. It's just hard to know, you know. Anybody's system time could be whatever, like. So those are the sine waves. I don't know. We may just have to do a thing where we like go through a bunch of examples and see how to do this, because this, I just don't even know what to call the nodes at this point. Like even just the idea of kind of weird. Oh, okay. Those are just inputs, I guess. So that's where, oops. That's where we can get. Yeah, basic values. Okay. Texture array, texture 2D. So this should show up like if this was our, just wondering if we can like, maybe the one thing I would like to try to do today is just sort of recreate our, the shader that we wrote, but figure out how to recreate it here. So let's do this. Let's make this not this. I don't want this anymore. Get out of here. Can I not delete this? I can. Okay, so let's make an out. Wait. Where is it? Oh, master unlit. Okay, so we'll have an unlit, and then we will make some textures. I want 2 textures. So one of them will be our render texture, which is this, and one of them will be our gradient texture, which is this. And what we will want to do is, so just plugging, actually like just plugging this in, we should get the thing. Okay. So what we want to do is mess with the UVs based on the R value of this. So we want to like create a vector2 node, and Y will just always be 0, but X will come from our R value, and then that is what we will use as the UVs here, which should mean everything is blue. Am I doing this right? Okay, cool. Hey, look at us. So we are now back to, we now have a node-based shader that does the thing that we were doing previously. So exact same principle. Okay, well, great. That makes you feel cool. So one thing we could do with that then, which would be a slight improvement here, is, what is this? Is this like the whole thing? Instead of unlit, let's do a PBR And then we can, oh man, did I break it? I broke it. I hit delete thinking I'm gonna delete what I want to delete, but I don't. Okay, so we went the R channel from here into X. We want Y to be 0. That's the UVs we sample. This we'll now just send to albedo. So it'll be the exact same thing, but we have lighting, basically, is the idea. I forgot to save it. So what would be kind of cool is, I guess you couldn't really easily do that real time. Whoa, are you doing that, Life is Yours? Who's clicking? Okay, I thought it was going crazy for a minute. What I would maybe like to have is height. How could we like fake normals from this? Position normals. I know, but I can't. You can't have usernames unless you. It's an opt-in thing. I was talking with Dracon about that earlier. Maybe that'll be like a version 2 kind of thing, but I don't know. Okay, we could make the water shiny. Actually, we could do this. We could make the metallicness. We could use this same output. No, not that output. This same output could also be our metallic. Whoa. I think that is not what we wanted to do. We want metallic to stay 0. It was so shiny, it was like reflective. I didn't really do much. I kind of want, I wanted to play with, I don't know how to generate like on the fly a height map out of the, Like, I would like to convert basically a bump map to a normal map. I don't think that's the thing. There's software that will estimate that. Even Unity can do it, but on the fly, I don't actually know if that would be easy to do in a shader. Look at that planet go. Can we have a little emissiveness? I guess I could feed the albedo into emissiveness also. Well, whoa, now it's glowing. I kind of want a multiplier to make it less glowy. Multiply? That made it worse. I would prefer if I could multiply all the channels simultaneously. I want like a scalar. Okay, well, let me break this thing out again. They look kind of cool while they're growing and then a little boring when they land. So bump is really the next key here, I think. And just coming up with textures that we like the look of. I would like the water to have some life, but look at you, you're like a god creating the planet before my very eyes. Maybe they should fade up in opacity as they grow. Also, why did that seem a little hitchy? Why is this only 90 frames per second? This should be like a billion frames per second. That almost seems like it's V-syncing to the Oculus. Oh, very nice. That's a creeper from Minecraft, right? Beautiful. I love your Minecraft fan art. Very tasteful. I kind of think I'm done streaming for now. 3 hours. We made some progress. We got the initial terraforming pass going, and then we broke it all trying to switch to scripted render stuff, but then we got back to working. It's a necessity, of course. You have to express yourself, I understand. Go look at the candies that Tracklin was talking about. Maybe, actually, I think you just drew one of the candies. So, what we want to do, which is just going to be kind of weird, is we want, like, I don't know, I just don't have any idea what nodes are. Is that a person? We want to take in that same RGB kind of value. And this is, I feel like I'm taking a Rorschach test here. Taking an RGB value, and then based on a set of like gradient slices, send it different ways, like have different behaviors. Or vice versa, I guess. Like have a bunch of different inputs, but then choose from those inputs based on a gradient. I assume that there's going to be a node that lets you do that, but I think I'll have to, I don't know, maybe next stream we'll just pull some examples. Let me make sure of one thing, because that performance is slightly concerning. It should be like 1 trillion frames per second. Why? Oh, is it in our where's that asset? Like, why would it be that slow? And why is it 15 batches? Because the shader graph's doing something goofy? We don't need shadows. We don't need additional lights. Dynamic batching, mixed lighting, shader brain logo. We don't need depth. We only need HDR. Could really be 2x and aliasing. I guess I don't know if the normal quality settings, how those interplay with the lightweight render pipeline. So like if we went here and we did quality, we're on very high right now, but seems like we could be low, very low. I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know if it matters. I mean, that's making textures half res and stuff. Okay, 1200 frames per second. So why were we only getting 90 before? That's kind of scary. Maybe it's just, was VSync on? VSync count, don't sync? Oh, okay, it's just VSync. Wait, then why is it syncing to 90 hertz? What is the refresh rate of this monitor? This isn't a 90 hertz monitor, is it? That doesn't seem right. Yeah. These are 60 hertz displays. So why would it be 90 with VSync on? Isn't that wrong? Is that like... Am I wrong about that? Like... Shouldn't VSync be the refresh rate of the monitor? Is it confused because they have an Oculus Rift plugged in? Yeah, so why is it VSyncing to... That seems weird. What is the reason, Unity? Okay, let's turn it back up to obscene quality again, I guess. Ultra! What was it on before? Was it on ultra or very high? Oh no, now we can't even hit 90. There it is. Why does it look bad now? Oh, because I changed the anti-aliasing on the render on the pipeline asset. Of course. Go to 8x. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at it. It's still not great, actually. Why does that look so bad? Is that anisotropic settings on this thing? Can you even do that? Not this thing. On this thing? Can you even do that? Maybe it's too big. Just particularly on the snow, it's just kind of swimmy. Why? Trilinear U? I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works with lightweight. That looked weird. Oh well. I don't think this will really matter once we have the real stuff going. Okay. I think I'm done. I think we will stream later tonight, and maybe we will try to at least figure out what we want the individual layers to look like. Like we'll make a... I think we'll just do... water? Okay, the basics would be like water, sand, trees, mountains. I think in addition to that, I would kind of like to have the water at shore and also normal plants. I mean, I guess once we figure it out, we can have in arbitrary numbers. It'll just be more textures. And then maybe it can be a texture atlas, and maybe that would be okay. Like these are going to be big textures. I don't know. We'll just break my computer. It's always fun, right? Okay. Thanks. Thanks for hanging out. Of course, shooting stars. Oh yeah, right. We could just add the fireworks to this. That if you click off the screen, you can have shooting stars and meteors and stuff spawn. Alien spacecraft. Look at that seam. Look at that unseemly seam. Dinosaurs ruling the Earth. Dracklin's weird rockets flying through the skies. Laser dinosaurs. Of course. Realistically, Life is Yours, we're probably not going to work on this much more than just today. I don't know. Maybe we'll work on this one more. Maybe this will be the one. Because we need one that... I have to make one that I just leave up and stream 24/7 until they approve the project. So one of them needs to be pretty cool, I would say. Maybe this will be the pretty cool one. Man, that means my poor computer, my poor internet access. I don't really like that. That's the way things go, but oh well, we'll see. Anyway, Life is Yours, Jacqueline. Thanks for hanging out as always. Any other viewers, thank you for stopping by. We will make a world builder. I've been thinking about one that you go into VR and you just hold your hands like this and like mush your hands around and you make worlds. I've been thinking really hard about that. So maybe I'll do that at some point. Okay, I'm done streaming. We will talk soon. Farewell.